everybody to the monthly MJBA meetings. You'll see that we always start by addressing you as business pioneers. You are business pioneers, and so I want to first of all thank you for being part of the first generation of legal cannabis by your very presence, by just applying for a license or deciding to be an ancillary business, or coming out tonight and showing that you believe in the end of federal prohibition and the normalization of cannabis and cannabis users. You are just by that very act changing the world, right? And so what we're doing here in Washington State, one of the first legal business communities for cannabis, is setting standards, right? And so a lot of what we do here at the MJBA is just to build community, because part of what we need to do is just get out of the closets, come out from the subterranean niches and hiding places, and come out and you know, declare ourselves part of the green revolution, but really to come out as experts in whatever subject matter that we happen to be expert at, or to bring the experience that life has bestowed upon us, right? Because all of us have traveled long and circuitous routes to get down here, and what we found is that together we're manifesting this industry, right? So each one of you as entrepreneurial pioneers is being faced with a whole host of business challenges. And so what you're finding out in your first year or your second year, as we're right-sizing the market, is that there are things you're really good at, and then there are things that you're not so good at. And so what we're doing here today is a series of boot camps that's really designed to present to you some basic fundamental information you need to run your business. So we're not going to talk about terpenes, we're not going to talk about CBD, and we're not going to talk about any of the, you know, the wonderful elements of the plant. We're going to talk about the mechanics of business. And we have before us a fantastic group of professionals. These are folks who are in the industry, who are working with licensed cannabis companies, and who are really thought leaders. So this is meant to be an interactive session. They're each going to tell you about some highlights. We've got lots of pass outs and one sheets and leave behinds and that kind of stuff. And then we're going to have questions. So ask specific questions. You've got folks here who normally charge you hundreds of dollars an hour for consulting, and so use them for free. So there we go. So we're going to introduce, but we have Danny Espinda from Act Resources CPA, so we're really excited to have her. We have, sitting next to her, Debbie Whitlock, who is a business coach and founding, a guiding member of the Women's Alliance, and has been part of a couple of our sessions. So now we're bringing it into a co-ed context, so I'm excited about getting exposure to some of these tools. Then we've got Norm Ives, who is, without a doubt, the #1 authority on cannabis insurance in the market, period. He is an MJBA member and is always available. Insurance is crazy, and he's going to tell you about it because we have basically a new marketplace. We have old folks who are leaving the market and new people who are coming in, and Norm Sky did point you in the right direction. And then we have our sponsor and moderator tonight, Ann Van from Northwest MJ Law, and you know, she knows everything there is to know about these regulations, and is really going to start to instill in us discipline. So as we put together this series, her guiding mantra again and again was, we got to get serious, we got to get the tools, we got to get discipline. So she's hosting accountability sessions for us at MJBA, and so this is our the start of having accountability sessions for each and every one of you. So thank you, Anne, for that. And I think I'm going to turn it over, so why don't you come on out. We've only got one mic, so play like...
Is it going to reach?
Yeah, I think it will. Play like, you know, there you go. We'll do like this, and off you go.
And hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out. This is really exciting. It's been a long journey getting here for all of us. Really, as Dave mentioned, I am very excited to begin to talk about I get these questions over and over and over from my clients, and I have helped push them in some directions over the course of their first year in startup. And I thought it was time for me to stop repeating myself and bring all of that information to MJBA members and some guests that are sampling the MJBA tonight, and to talk about increasing your business literacy. We all know what literacy means, but I think it's time that we understand what our responsibilities are as small business owners. I too am a small business owner, and I scurried to get all of the tasks I'm asking you to do done for my own business, because I wanted to show up here tonight and say, yes, I've done all of this. So, well, I haven't done all of it. It's an ongoing process. There are a couple of themes I just want to touch on, and then we're going to do something. First of all, part of showing up prepared is having something to write on and something to write with. Are there Women's Alliance members here tonight? Yeah. Do they have something they need to, come and get something to write on, please. Giving us some, we influenced with the Women's Alliance. We had a wonderful political event, and these are some leftover guineas of my sponsorship on that. I also have brought pens for people. I went out and bought pens. Please, come help yourself if you need a pen. This is a learning environment. Nobody has a better memory than me. I think a lot of people don't. And I forget things. You need to write things down. You need to document things. You need to make notes to yourself. Please, please, please start that habit now. The next theme I'm going to talk about is something I notice a lot as we transition from black market and medical in maybe in this state, maybe throughout. I'm beginning to get to know the Oregon culture a little, but I certainly see here that we spend a lot of time looking backwards. It's time for us to stop looking back and start looking ahead to the distance and planning and steering where we want to go, instead of this, oh, I still owe these people. Do you think Donald Trump is still paying 7% to the person who loaned him money to buy his first hotel? No. It's time for us to understand that we're moving into a new era of business. And yes, we have our buddies from way back, and if they fit in the new model, that's great. Bring them along as equity members of your company. But we've got to stop this backward looking, owing people. Past advice, no longer valid. There are people out there repeating the same messages they've been doing for 5 years. Everything has changed. We need to evolve. We need to keep changing. We need to keep seeking better, more current advice. And the last thing is, litigation is not going to solve the problems of this industry. We need to broker solutions, we need to talk, and we need to resolve things. That's on a business level, and that's on a larger picture level. It's wonderful that there are some medical dispensaries that are mounting a lawsuit, but what's going to happen at the end of that lawsuit in 2 years is they're going to go, okay, you won. That's great. The licenses are long gone. So the time is now that we need to take ownership of this business community. The second thing I want to talk about is that I find in my client base and in the community at large, there are two groups of people. There are the people that think they know what they're doing, and then there's the group of people that are smart enough to understand that they should be very nervous about certain things, and that they do know some other things. It's time to learn the things and face the things we don't know how to do. It's okay to admit, I don't know. It's okay to say, you know what? I didn't do my books for 2015. I talk to the CFO of the LCB quite regularly, Mike Cashmere, and one of the things we speculate is that less than 25% of small businesses actually have books, and that's in this industry. That is not okay. It's time to resolve that. I met this gentleman, Matthew, stand up. I met you about 6 months ago. And he had this very comprehensive monthly fee package, and I said, this is more than people can afford and more than they need. We revisited it a couple weeks ago, and he's put together a really simple solution. He's got set up charter of accounts in QuickBooks. You can talk with him. He's going to counsel you on how to get your data in, how to make this transition of getting 2015 captured. You need to get that information so you can start planning for 2016. Talk to this person.
He's great, I got for him, he's awesome.
He does my books. Is there any better endorsement? He does my books, okay? Stand up, please. This is Rachel Fellback. We are welcoming, the time in the industry is right for her. She is an expert in conflict resolution, mediation, and dissolution. She helped write the book of Collaborative Divorce in Washington State. Breakups of businesses are nothing more than corporate divorce. So, Rachel's going to be working with MWMJ Law on dispute resolution issues. We're very excited to welcome her to the industry. She's going to be an asset. And I open you to call our firm if you need to access her to talk about some issues you may be having and how that might be resolved without litigation. You never speak? And again, the big picture is where we need to be focusing our energies right now. There are more than 43 organizations claiming leadership in this industry in Washington State. There are advocacy groups, there are lobbyist groups. We're past that time. We need to own this industry as business owners. We are small business owners. We're the only state in the country that is fighting to retain our ability as small business owners. Oregon has a bill right now considering removing any residency requirement, which means basically R.J. Runnels is going to move in and take over all of Oregon's industry. You know, I'm not saying that that's how it's going to happen, but big money is going to walk into Oregon if they pass this bill, and Washington will remain the only state where it's mom and pop proprietors of the businesses that own this industry and run this industry. The MJBA is about business of weed in Washington and the country. It's why I chose to partner with them on educating and helping everyone in this industry to do better about minding their business. All right, I'm going to do one of those hokey things. Everybody stand up.